Meanwhile, aide to the National Chief Imam Sheikh Arimiya Shaibu has commended Parliament for its resolve to pass a private members' bill that would criminalize activities of LGBTQI and punish offenders. In business, aggrieved public sector workers kick against government's 4% salary increment. We will bring you reactions from the coalition against TUC and labor unions as it demands change in the leadership of the Trade Union Congress. In entertainment, multiple award-winning Ghanaian gospel musician Joe Mettle releases 6th studio album titled The Experience, featuring MOG Music, Michael Stake and Joshua Ochre. On the international front, rescuers are scouting devastated parts of western India for survivors after heavy rains caused deadly floods. Details of these and many other stories are coming up shortly. Stay with us. Welcome to the program. In our first story, the Executive Director for the Alliance for Social Equity and Public Accountability, ASEPA, Mensa Thompson, is calling on all stakeholders involved in the proposal for a bill to prohibit homosexuality in Ghana to approach the matter without hate, bearing in mind the human rights to all persons, including homosexuals. He decried the antagonism that emerges whenever the gay conversation comes up. He spoke with Francisca Kakraforsen on Inside Pages earlier today.
In principle, I do not support LGBTQ activities, but I'm also strongly against the antagonism and the way in which I think we've handled just situations. And as somebody who heads a civil society that promotes human rights, I think I find some of the words quite, the actions, and even this particular bill quite extreme, you know, in dealing with the problem at hand. I think that this bill will not succeed if its intention in any way is to curb the influx of LGBTQ activities. I think this bill is dead on arrival. And I think that it's not progressive. You see, most of the laws we've had in our books have been so punitive-centered. You know, they don't provide opportunities for reform. They don't provide opportunities for personal liberties to be enforced. And so when curiosity, when you tell a child, hey, don't touch this thing, the child will want to touch and know what will happen if I touch it. You understand? But if we provide other alternatives, that things should be done in this way and not insist on punishing people because they are doing this or they are doing that.
Now, the aide to the National Chief Imam Sheikh Arimiya Shaibu has commended government for its resolve to pass a private members' bill that will criminalize activities of LGBTQI and punish offenders with up to 10 years imprisonment. According to him, the activities of LGBTQI is a threat to the family system and must be stamped out. He said this on Metro TV's Inside Pages, hosted by Francisca Kakraforsen.
I think that we should give a thumbs up to the government and whoever is facilitating the passing of this bill, because for us, the idea of LGBT for us is a threat to the existence of the family and our family values, and that's how dangerous we look at it. It's not so much about the right of those who are inclined towards this, but that we are so much concerned about the dangers it poses to the very existence of our national survival and our family values. That is why, if you look at the title of the bill, it is promoting proper human sexual right, and the protection of our human family values. Yeah. So we have looked at the old previous law, which was not wide enough in scope to be able to cover all those additions that we have seen today. Today you talk of the LGBTQ, then I and plus. What it means that we even do not know the scope. We even do not know the scope and the extent of these kind of in my view, sexual aberrations, which poses a threat to the very existence of our family and our family values. That is the reason why we as religious people, Ghana is made up of more than 95% religious people. Secondly, according to our own constitution, we begin by in the name of God. We sing the national anthem, God is at the center of our country. So given that we have this kind of religious orientation, we cannot sit down and allow a certain kind of sexual orientation that attacks the very center of our survival and existence, which is the family. The family. Yeah, and that is the reason why, for us, I can speak directly on behalf of the Chief Imam, that we are happy, and we really commend whoever has made contribution to facilitate the passing of the bill. The natural system of the family is made up of a man and a woman. Family systems begin with marriage, and the marriage takes place between a man and a woman, so that the progeny that come out of it is what is used to form the human society and the human community. And so that is why I say that, because the mating or the marriage between a man and a man does not produce human being. It means it's a way to cut off the flow of progeny in the family.
Well, let's still stay on matters of LGBTQ, because in the last 48 hours, social media has been buzzing over leaked contents of a 36-page proposal by a section of parliamentarians to criminalize LGBTQ acts in Ghana. The homosexual act in Ghana is punishable by imprisonment and considered to be against the social, cultural and religious norms and teachings. The latest move will be one that will definitely not be welcomed by liberals. As a result of this, Ghanaian singer Sister Debbie and lawmaker Samuel Nate George have been engaging in a war of words on social media platform Twitter for hours. Here's more.
The Ningo Prampram MP, who has not shied away from making his stance clear on ensuring that the bill is passed, has been receiving backlash from a host of liberal Ghanaians on social media who believe the bill and its entirety triumphs on human rights. In a tweet shared on Friday, July 23, 2021, Sam George wrote, "I have been overwhelmed by the massive support even here on a very liberal platform like Twitter for our bill on the LGBTQ+ menace. Homosexuality is not a human right. It is a sexual preference. Preferences are not absolute or unregulated. We shall pass this bill through." In a sharp rebuttal to tweets posted by Sam George indicating Parliament resolves to do all it can to pass the anti-LGBT+ bill, the popular singer sought to educate the lawmaker on how dangerous his rhetoric on the issue was. Sister Debbie called Sam George's fight against LGBTQ+ as backward and shameful. "You're only doing this to score political points, forgetting the harm you're causing queer folk. Tell us what else you personally gained from passing this bill, if not for political points. Shame on you," Sister Debbie replied to Sam George's tweet. This quickly resulted in a back and forth between the two, who are still responding to each other's tweets as of the time of filing this report. Hopefully, when you figure out what genre of music you can succeed at, we can have a forward-looking conversation. Until then, say hi to Medical for me. Cheers, Sam George wrote in response to Debbie's statement. Sister Debbie further called out the lawmaker once again in her response, and thus pointed the lawmaker was endangering the lives of Ghanaians, and thus considered herself as far more successful than Sam George could ever imagine. "Just by fighting for Ghanaians whose lives you are endangering, I consider myself far more successful than you," Sister Debbie wrote. While there's an ongoing public discourse on portions of the bill proposal, the Ningo Prampram lawmaker has reiterated that homosexuality is not a human right but a sexual preference, hence the need to criminalize the act. Among some of the actions contained in the Promotion of Proper Human Sexual Rights and Ghanaian Family Values Bill 2021 proposal will see corporates face a jail term of up to 10 years depending on the crime if passed in its current state. Additionally, individuals of the same sex who engage in sexual intercourse will be liable on summary conviction to a fine of not less than 750 penalty units and not more than 5,000 penalty units, or to a term of imprisonment of not less than 3 years and not more than 5 years, or both. This means that any person who holds out as a lesbian, a gay, a transgender, a transsexual, a queer, a pansexual, an ally, a non-binary, or any other sexual or gender identity that is contrary to the binary categories of male and female commits an offense.
Meanwhile, some Gideons have been sharing their views on the proposed bill. They spoke to my colleague Zoe Anita Ode.
Gay and lesbianism, we they like Muslim, Christianism, we know they like for Ghana here. If they catch you, they for jail you like 20 years safe.
Yes, I'm in support of the first part of the bill that talks about them being jailed when caught in the act. However, my question to that is that when you look at the way our prisons are, we don't really even train. The prisoners hardly go for serious training when they are in jail. If you jail them, I think they should be given some sort of psychological help such that when they come out after the 10 years, they will not be easily influenced to go back into the act.
The move of our leaders is we back them concerning the lesbianism and then homosexual, and the bill that come to pass to abolish or whoever conduct, involved in serving such act should be imprisoned.
10 years for corporate. My personal view is that that's even on the low. This is a no-no. Why would anybody wants to relate with the man on man, woman on? Well, it's complete nonsense, isn't it?
This is my personal opinion. If we accept these kind of things, I think animals are better than us. So I respect everyone, the freedom of everyone, but there is a limit for everything.
Away from that, now, education fellow at the Center for Justice, Ni Ama-Adi, has kicked against doubts over the competency of the Special Prosecutor, Kisi Ejabin. According to him, the nominee will not be able to perform his duties as expected due to varied reasons. Meanwhile, Executive Director of the Alliance for Social Equity and Public Accountability, Mensa Thompson, said questioning the age of the nominee was needless. The two spoke with Francisca Kakraforsen on Inside Pages.
Which for me I thought was very unnecessary.
Yes, I was going to ask, was that necessary?
Was extremely unnecessary. I think that we've come a long way. We've seen young, vibrant people take very instrumental positions in this country and have made significant impact. Young people continue to play a significant role in our democracy, and so this question about age was entirely not necessary. But it also goes a long way to tell you the cultural hurdle that Mr. Jabin will have to overcome, in that office, in an office where, and in a society where your elders can come to you, those kind of excuses. And so he's going to face that huge cultural hurdle. And even though the question was not necessary, I think that it's something that he should be thinking about it. How is he going to overcome this cultural hurdle? So that people who feel, I'm way older than him, or do not come, necessarily, interfere with his job, and how he's able to carry everybody along. And for me, Mr. Jabin is going to be assessed basically by what administrative, capabilities he's going to equip the office with, what investigative capabilities, and what effective prosecutorial team he's able to assemble to ensure that we get results.
To be very honest with you, I don't expect anything from him. For me, the standard of measure was the work of the sole commissioner, Yawapao. For me, that is the standard for the office of the special prosecutor. And everything has been laid out by Justice Yawapao. If we can follow that, then we expect to get a very good result. Anything less than that, I don't expect anything from Kisi. And even if you look at how it's appointed, and the offices that he would have to report to, shows that they choose which cases they want to prosecute.
And the smear and the perception.
That's everything. So let me be very honest and sincere with you that for him, I'll take his first word that he cannot fight it. Yet he cannot fight it.
Now, Ghanaians in the UK are preparing for a street protest under the auspices of the Fix the Country movement to demand better governance in Ghana. The Fix the Country London demo is expected to happen on Friday, July 30th, 2021 from 10 a.m. to 12 noon at the Ghana High Commission 13 Belgrave Square. Let's speak with a Ghanaian based in the UK, Yao Inti Mefriye. He's the organizer of the Fix the Country demo UK. Good evening and welcome to Newsnight. How are preparations so far?
Yeah, good evening. Also, evening to your viewers and listeners. Yeah, so far everything is underway, and then we are ready for the day to come, and then we hit the street of London. Though Ghana Embassy here also went to the Metropolitan Police to seek injunction on the demonstration, but here we are in UK. It's not like being in Ghana, so the police didn't allow the Ghana High Commissioner. So definitely the demonstration is coming on the 30th July, as it is.
Right. So what should Ghanaians expect from this demonstration?
Yeah, everybody is interested to join it, and that's why the High Commissioner is panicking. And definitely, you're going to hit his government. This one, everybody knows it's not a politics. It's not by NDC or MPP. By the Ghanaians. And I think that this government has been lucky than all the previous governments, simply because the youth is telling this president or the government to face the nation. Previous government didn't get it like that. They didn't get anyone to advise them that they should face the country. So I think this government has been lucky to get the youth supporting him to face the country. But we don't know why they are taking it to other way around. Because when you look at the things back home now, my bro, it's very difficult for us to even come home. The killings, robbery, and all sort of things. It looks like the country don't have leader at the moment. That's why we call this President Akufo-Addo to act as a president of Ghana and then govern the country for us so that everybody will be peace. Everywhere will be peace. Everybody can go, in and out. And then we enjoyed our country because the way he came in, the expectation was high because he promised us that he can do that previous government has done. And now it means that he is going down west. So you see, we are asking him to face the country, nothing more, nothing less. He should stop even youth placement, the way they are intimidating you guys, the way they are threatening you, the way they want to kill you. They kill some of you then. So all this one based on our demonstration to tell the government of Ghana to face the nation and stop borrowing and stop spending money unnecessary.
Mr. Mefriye, you are in faraway London protesting for a better country. Do you think your voices will be heard?
Oh yeah, we know it will heard because so far we haven't started yet. And then the High Commissioner, who will always report to the government of Ghana, is panicking, and he's trying to get some ways to block us. It means he has already heard that this demonstration is coming on, and I'm assuring Ghanaians that this is the biggest demonstration they will see in the UK history. Every Ghanaian, either MPP, CPP, or everybody is involved, because it's not like it's happening to me and then I don't take consent because it's not me, so I won't take consent. It affects everybody because we hear from our people back home the way they complain to us. So before, if you can send £100 to your relatives, you can see they enjoy it, the way they will use it. It makes us relieve a bit. But now, if you send £100, they say client that no, the £100 is not enough. So jump, and the pressure comes on us. So everybody want to participate. Everybody want to get involved. So I know definitely the government will hear this. Akufo-Addo will hear that. And then the funny thing is, he want to run away from Ghana on the 4th August demonstration to London. And then he is coming here on the 30th. You know he's coming, he will be in this country on the 30th of July. So definitely we will get him here and then he will listen to what we want to say.
Yes, there's been a series of demonstrations that have happened in the UK concerning the well-being of Ghanaians. How different do you think this one will be from the other demonstrations that people from Ghana in the UK have done?
Yeah, as I said, this one is not by a political party organizing demonstration. This one is about the citizens, those who care for Ghana. And you know, we love Ghana. Ghana is our home. We don't, here we are, we consider that we are in somebody's country. You know, the raises issues and those stuff. We don't like it that way. So we want to come home. But if you are coming home and your home is on fire, how can you come home? So that's why we want the government to fix the country for us. So everybody is involved. That's why I said this one will be the biggest and eighth demonstration in the UK, London Presidency.
Thank you very much for speaking to us on Newsnight. We have been speaking to Yao Intimefrie. He's the organizer of Fix the Country UK. You're still watching Newsnight here on Metro TV. You take a break, we'll return shortly. Stay with us.
In Ghana and in Africa, there is only one place to look to get that luxurious design and decor for your offices and homes. Visit Jamila Home. We give you the climax of luxury wherever you find yourself. Presidential and executive office furniture, living room sets, dining set, stunning mirrors, adorable wallpapers, lovely king and queen size beds, valuable antiques and antique goods, beautiful chandeliers and more. Into the bargain, we provide caring customer service, prompt delivery service, skilled and artistic full house design and decor services, and free decor ideas for your space. Our products and service is unparalleled, boasting of top-tier clients all over the globe. Jamila Home, home of first-class quality furniture, beautiful chandeliers, and antiques.
The Millennium Excellence Foundation, under the auspices of Otumfuo Osei Tutu II, presents Ghana's most prestigious award, the Millennium Excellence Award. Special guest of honor, the President of the Republic, His Excellency Nana Akufo-Addo, the National Chief Imam, Osmanu Nuhu Shaributu, Dr. Ibn Chambers, Chief of Staff, Madame Frema Opare, and several other dignitaries. Showing this Saturday at 8 p.m. on Metro TV. Millennium Excellence Awards, honesty, humility, fairness. Millennium Excellence Awards, powered by Platinum Live Media.
Obia pe says AC, Tresse, it will gold-plated things. Yet the copper pipes pa pebi na ye. Gasia, and for how biam rodas and ibia, and a goom. And yet the day, Tanso of 4-in-1 filter system. 80 from a free mubano. Aye kroji. AC, yet the horsepower neto. I sense kasa aye 2.5. Aye 2.5. Kululu pianim. Yet the abapiamo. Aye high sense AC super promo. Date near 26 July. Akobim 8 August 2021. Upe Asia F. Na eche. Na chili. Na entry power. Aye high sense AC. Comfort to yemi. 26th July. Akobim 8 August. Madam Hisense. Matiti Suse. Who? 5 years warranty. Eda Sutia. Hisense and Kwane Timiya Samao. Hisense. Everyday prices for everyday people.
You're welcome back. Let's do some health stories. As an immunologist at the Noguchi Memorial Institute for Medical Research at the University of Ghana, Dr. Kwadwo Asamoah-Kusi has attributed the rise in COVID-19 cases in the country to poor leadership. Dr. Kwadwo Asamoah-Kusi noted there's been a decline in the observance of the preventive protocols by leadership, hence giving a wrong signal to the citizenry. He made this submission on Inside Pages, hosted by Francisca Kakraforsen.
It looks like we started very well. We were, in fact, touted globally for being a country that has been at the good side of, fighting this infection right from the beginning. But we seem to have slipped into a state of being reactionary instead of being proactive. And I'll cite a classic example. When the Delta strain issues in Ghana came initially, and there was talk about it, I remember a quick reaction of the Ghana Health Service that, it's just been detected at the airport. But that should have been a sign that it could end up in the community. And right then, we should have begun moves to see what to do. We had already let our guard down. We had slipped into the state of thinking that everything was back to normal. Like the first speaker said, it would have been very good if we had maintained our foot on the pedal and insisted that these checks were in place, the protocols were being observed. And if we had done that then, 1.5 years on, I don't think we would be this reactionary. So there, of course, we would put the blame squarely at the feet of leadership. Australia, at some point, removed all of these restrictions, and they were even in stadiums, cheering. But just in the past few weeks, they've had to go into lockdown again in Sydney because of the emergence of the Delta strain there.
Let's go to the presidency, where President Akufo-Addo has commended the outgoing Norwegian and Spanish ambassadors for working to enhance Ghana's diplomatic relationships with their respective countries. The diplomats were at the Jubilee House on Friday to bid farewell to the Ghanaian president after the duty tour.
The outgoing Norwegian ambassador, Ghana Andreas Holm, said relations between Ghana and his country has improved within his tenure.
The highlights from my side would be the fact that we have been able to develop and strengthen the bilateral ties. I would specifically, of course, mention, as was already mentioned, Your Excellency's visit to Norway and to Svalbard in February last year. Indeed cold, but indeed also very enlightening and a very unique experience, I think.
Apart from the enhancing of the political work, I don't think we still have a formal vehicle for political consultations between Norway and Ghana. It's being developed. I think that is something that in your party notes you have to leave to your successor, that he develops as quickly as possible, so we can have these periodic formal engagements to exchange views, and the involvement that already you're having even in the Sahelian region and in the affairs of the Sahel means that there's a need for us to be in active conversation, not just at the level of the heads of state, but at the level of the technicians and the leading functionaries as well.
Alicia Rico Perez de Pulga is the outgoing Spanish ambassador.
We have promoted economic and commercial relations. We are bringing in more companies to support the industrialization process in the country, create jobs and opportunities.
We have to thank you. There are several initiatives in the educational sphere, the scholarship arrangements that have been made with Ghanaians, and of course also the whole COVAX initiative, and which Spain has been very active. We have to thank you also for your involvement and the contribution in that. As you know, the shortage of vaccines has been a problem for countries like ours. But hopefully, we're seeing light at the end of the tunnel, and very soon we shall begin the process again of vaccinating our population. But the Spanish involvement in that has been significant for us.
Let's focus on climate change, as the Environmental Protection Agency is charging the youth of Ghana to actively participate in the conservation of the environment. Deputy Director of the Environmental Protection Agency in charge of climate change, Dr. Entry Boasiaku, says young people must prioritize climate change in the global bid to save the planet.
Seeks to propel the youth to engage in active policies aimed at curbing environmental degradation, which remains a threat to human survival.
The YCC Ghana has come to stay. For over the years, there has been conflict of inputs in terms of young people influencing policy process in line with climate change. Right now, the YCC is coming to, help address or mitigate those challenges, where we are going to have a centralized body where youth-focused organizations, CSOs and NGOs, they are going to have a body, just like we have the parliamentarians representing their constituents. Now, the YCC will also be a platform for the youth civil society organizations or NGOs who are youth-focused and they are working in line with climate and environment to champion or to influence policy process at the regional, national and the international level.
The executive coordinator of African Youth Initiative on Climate Change, Kassim Gausu Toure, spoke on the challenges hampering the work of the youth in addressing climate changes.
One of the key barriers is capacity. I mean, you need capacity to be able to engage actively. You need capacity to understand what issues are there within the climate change processes, because it's not just about raising awareness or asking people to really undertake actions, but it's actually also following up on the technical issues, especially what is happening at the global level. And also with regards to, as we are talking about climate change, we are also talking about the convention that guides countries in their implementation of efforts and actions.
On the EPA's role in ensuring the participation of the youth in tackling issues of climate change, Deputy Director of the Environmental Protection Agency, Dr. Entry Boisiako, had this to say.
The young people are for today and then also for the future generations. And so in the past, strategically, we've been involving young people in actually doing quite a number of things that are strategic in nature. An example is involving them in policy development phases where we have working groups that work on these various thematic areas that focus on different themes on climate change. I think we have young people also being part of this whole process. For now, for example, we have 5 working groups that all across you have young people actually being members of this group. We also have a mentorship program where as we implement projects and programs, we mentor young people on different areas depending on their interests. And through that program, I think we've been able to mentor quite a number of people in this country on climate and environment-related issues.
Green Africa Youth Organization and the Youth in Climate Change is a youth-led gender-balanced advocacy group that focus on environmental sustainability and community development.
Let's do some mining stories as the Deputy Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, George Mrikuduka, has indicated the government did not place a ban on small-scale mining in the country, dismissing fears of the members of small-scale miners from organizing and going to site to work. He, however, says the small-scale miners could go back to their sites to mine responsibly. George Duka made the statement at a meeting with members of the Ghana National Association of Small-Scale Miners at a forum in Kumasi. Here's a report by Metro News' Ashanti Regional Correspondent Abdul Basit Suleiman, read to you.
The stakeholder engagement in the mining sector was to, amongst other things, address the challenges confronting small-scale mining and its ripple effect on the country. The Deputy Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, George Mrikuduka, noted government was committed to improving small-scale mining, hence its determination to partner with the miners to make the environment from which they operate safe for mercury and other toxic waste that destroy water bodies and farmland.
Government did not place any ban on mining generally. Government placed ban on illegal mining, and even the act itself placed a ban on illegal mining. In actual fact, there was a ban because of the act, that anything that involves illegality is not tolerated as far as our act is concerned or our constitution is even concerned.
On his part, the Vice President of the Ghana National Association of Small-Scale Miners, Samson Kofi Redu, bemoaned the activities of some soldiers engaged in Operation Halt, stressing that miners were losing their investment as a result of the destruction of mining equipment.
Ankana abaye enka say yen small-scale miners are illegal documents no anka yeka ho. Nenso ebra dwede air coffee minister nia yehu enyina ene se afei yehu sonso ya eda entamo ye ne ayekuta licenses ene rezo no na afei ɛkɔya poma ebi mpo ɛka yɛ nua no bi a titiro a ɛyɛ Benedictus bajo pa ja onsa kakra me minister ho asen fosu chairman na ebra na okuta ne license ko hye ne mfidie ene ne nema enyina ema ehu kese ebeto association no yeso enunti bia me gina we bi kuta me license a se bisaisi wa hai ya nhwe documents mu ana se records bu kra obetumi edi ho adanse se bi kuta me license enso e free sabra no eba no.
You're still watching Newsnight live on Metro TV, also live on DSTV channel 277. We'll return shortly after this break.
Dirty and wet after wiping your sweat or blowing your nose with it. Keeping a dirty handkerchief in your pocket or bag is very unhygienic. Reusing it increases your chances of getting sick from germs. That is why I always use Flora disposable handkerchiefs. Flora disposable handkerchiefs is disposable, thus making it a more hygienic option. It's thick and very absorbent. With 10 tissues in a pack, Flora disposable handkerchief is better than a cloth handkerchief. The Flora toilet roll, Flora multi-purpose paper towels, Flora table napkins, and Flora box tissues in a shop near you. For both purchases, call Delta Paper Mail on 0243 033 033.
The Millennium Excellence Foundation, under the auspices of Otumfuo Osei-Tutu II, presents Ghana's most prestigious award, the Millennium Excellence Award. Special guest of honor, the President of the Republic, His Excellency Nana Akufo-Addo, the National Chief Imam, Osmanu Nuhu Shariputu, Dr. Eben Chambers, Chief of Staff, Madam Frema Opare, and several other dignitaries, showing this Saturday at 8 p.m. on Metro TV. Millennium Excellence Awards, honesty, humility, fairness. Millennium Excellence Awards, powered by Platinum Live Media.
Introducing a deal that's too good to miss. Pay for 1 month of Showmax Pro or Showmax Pro Mobile and get a second month on us.
He's the world champion.
That's 50% off Olympic Games Tokyo 2020 action and world-class football, as well as first and exclusive local series.
It makes sense, right?
Movies, kids shows, and more. Sign up now.
You're welcome back. Business is next. Stay with us. The president of the Agreed Public Sector Workers, Norbert Bobochi, says they will kick against the 4% salary increment offered by government, describing it as unfair, and would subsequently order members to lay down their tools come August 18, 2021, as they plan to hit the streets. He added that the Trade Union Congress did not consider the plight of the public sector workers before concluding on a 4% salary increment.
Happen, or you are seeing what is happening right now this morning, that the causative organism of the problem is the same person that is going to sit to resolve the problem. How is that going to be possible? How is that going to be possible? We think that there's nothing that is going to come out of the meeting they are going to have, and until we stand up and fight for ourselves, nobody will do that for us. So it is not going to be mandatory, But I am sure no one in this world or in Ghana here as a public sector worker accept 4%, whilst the counterpart in under Article 71 are taking 60, 70, 80%. They that already are having the chunk of the money are still getting higher percentage. As we get a percentage that cannot even afford, it cannot do anything. It can't do anything. It is not acceptable. It is an insult to the face of the Ghanaian worker.
Let's have a conversation on the back of this and speak with Anthony Moke, who is the PRO of the Coalition Against TUC and Labour Unions. Good evening and welcome to Newsnight. What are your demands since the 4% you say you not accept it? What do you expect?
Hello.
Hello, good evening, sir. I'm asking, what are your demands since you say you will not accept the 4% increment?
Yes. TUC and organized union demand is they should go back to the negotiation equate, because salary increment is not fair in a sense that you were all the people of this country and affected the economy enjoying, and others should suffer. For TUC to accept 4 public sector workers, of which some of our workers would, after deductions, we don't know the reason executives accept this. So now our is this: they should go back to the negotiation table and come out with a new figure that will equate the livelihood. Other than that, we will embark or to make sure that all the leaders change in this country.
We can hardly hear you, sir.
Hello?
Yes. Yes, you say, yes. You say they should go back to the negotiation table and come up with a better figure. In terms of percentage, how much do you want them to come up with?
You know, government went intention of giving workers 4%. Who have or negotiation capacity to speak on behalf accepted government or gave in without any reason or explanation given to workers.
We sincerely apologize for that network challenges, but we followed that in our subsequent bulletin. Let's move on to other stories. The Public Interest and Accountability Committee, PIAC, is calling for prosecutorial powers to deal with individuals and state agencies who misuse oil revenue. Speaking at the Middle Belt Forum on the 10 years of petroleum revenue management in the country in Kumasi, the chairman of PIAC, Professor Kwame Adom-Frimpong, explained that the committee needs to be granted such powers to flush out perpetrators to financial malice of oil proceeds. Here is a story filed by Metro News' Ashanti Regional Correspondent Abdul Basit Suleiman, read to you.
The Public Interest and Accountability Committee, PIAC, is a statutory committee established under the Section 56 of the Petroleum Revenue Management Act 2011 at 815. The core objective is to monitor and evaluate compliance with the Act by government and relevant institutions in the management and use of petroleum revenue. This year's forum by PIAC in Kumasi was to engage the public from Western North, Bono East, Ahafo, and Ashanti region on the management and use of petroleum revenues. Chairman of PIAC, Professor Kwame Adom Frimpong, highlighted numerous projects being financed with petroleum revenues. He said about 622 million cedis was used on physical infrastructure and service delivery in the education sector between 2017 to 2018, while over 31 million cedis was spent on physical infrastructure and service in the health sector.
Using oil money to fund the free SHS. But today, we can manage it. What about tomorrow? If certain things come, unforeseen contingencies set in, and there's no money coming from oil, how are you going to fund the free SHS? So what we are saying that is good policy, but you should have alternative or additional sources. In case one is not good, you say you shouldn't put all our eggs in one basket. So in case one goes down, one can support.
The Ashanti Regional Minister Simon Osei Mensa explained the rationale for the Petroleum Revenue Management Act.
Public Interest and Accountability Committee, the friend of Petroleum Revenue Management Act. Now, Act 815. And a tea, Piaka, and left the no Abishia. No Jumedia or Medino or Moba, no Mabechre, Yemu. Sikana in your free farm woman. Adia, Edi Aye, Skasen, Yanyabepim Samri.
The former Vice Chairman of PIAC, Kwame Jantwa, and Hajia Dr. Azara Bukari, the President of the Savannah Queen Mothers Association, raised concerns about petroleum revenues being overspent.
In the last 4 priority areas that were chosen, 92% of the oil revenue was used for free education. What about the other 3? So some of us are saying, perhaps at this material point, we should say that oil money for the next 4 years, we are using it for education. Oil money for the next 4 years, we are using it for electricity. Oil money for the next 4 years, we are using it for sanitation. So that people can identify what the oil money has been used for.
One of the biggest issues that they are talking about is our roads, which is their concern, that roads should actually be part of the priority. And yes, roads is part of government's priority by the booklet that we are having. Education is part of government priority.
The Minister of Trade and Industry, Alan Chamatin, has given an assurance that the Commander Sugar Factory will be operational before the year ends. According to him, operational difficulties are being resolved to enable a smooth takeoff. Addressing Parliament, the Minister said a strategic investor, PAC Ghana Limited, has been approved and approached by Cabinet to help revive the factory.
Working with the transaction advisors, the ministry has painstakingly worked through these various requirements and requests from the strategic partner. And as part of these arrangements, PAC Agrotech has applied for and has been granted 1D1F status by the ministry. This will enable PAC Agrotech to take advantage of the incentives and benefits as approved by Parliament for 1D1F registered companies, and therefore to commence operation of the Commander Sugar Factory expeditiously. Mr. Speaker, I have instructed the transaction advisor and PAC Agrotech to ensure that the conditions precedent to the concession agreement and the roadmap for the opening of the factory is finalized by the end of August this year to enable operational activities at the factory commence before the end of the year.
How do the concerned citizens of Commander Traditional Area take the assurance from the Minister of Trade and Industry that the Commander Sugar Factory will be operational before this year? Samuel Awuja is the convener of the concerned citizens of Commander Traditional Area. He's on the phone with us. Good evening and welcome to Newsnight. How do you take the assurance given by the Trade Minister?
We don't believe him a bit. We don't, because we've had precedent. In 2019, April 2019, when he went to Parliament, he promised that the factory was going to work in the next 4 months. What happened to that? And we also know that it was around the same time that the citizens of Commander were preparing to embark on a peaceful demonstration. It was the same time that we sent the police the notice to embark on a demonstration in November. We were to go for the demonstration in December. So just about 5 days to the demonstration, the government came out that the minister went to Parliament in April that there was going to be a strategic investor. We don't believe him. There have been series of lies all along. So we don't believe what he's saying. This time around, I think what is pushing them to come out with what the minister is saying is because of the intended demonstration that we've planned, the citizens of Commander have planned. As soon as we came up with the notice this time around, the government is now coming again, indicating that the strategic investor is coming to site. Even in that instance, we were here, and then the minister said because of COVID, the investor was stuck in India. So as soon as the restrictions were removed, he was going to come to site. But we all know that the restrictions were removed as far back as 1st September 2020. What happened to that? About 10 months down the line, the investor has still not reported to site. So we don't believe what the minister is saying.
The minister said by the end of the year, it will be operational. Don't you think you should give him the benefit of the doubt and wait for the end of the year to see whether it's operational or not?
Thank you. Like I indicated earlier on, in April 2019, he said the factory was going to be operational in 4 months' time. So if we are to go by his word, 4 months' time, we are how many years down the line? It's been 2 years. So for the same minister to now come out to say that the factory is going to be operational by the end of this, and we don't believe him. It's because of the intended demonstration. That's why they are coming out with some of these statements. But we don't believe him a bit. If you come to Commander Sugar Factory and look at the state of it deteriorating at fast rate, and we think that it's high time the government pays much attention to Commander Sugar Factory in operationalizing.
All right, we're so grateful for your time. We have been speaking with Samuel Awuja. We'll take a fast commercial break. We'll be right back.
The Millennium Excellence Foundation, under the auspices of Otumfuo Osei Tutu II, presents Ghana's most prestigious award, the Millennium Excellence Award. Special guest of honor, the President of the Republic, His Excellency Nana Akufo-Addo, the National Chief Imam, Osmanu Nuhu Shariputu, Dr. Eben Chambers, Chief of Staff, Madam Fema Opare, and several other dignitaries. Showing this Saturday at 8 p.m. on Metro TV. Millennium Excellence Awards, honesty, humility, fairness. Millennium Excellence Awards, powered by Platinum Live Media.
We are one man short. Should we invite him?
Yeah.
It be old cargo.
Can I join you guys?
Yeah.
Always drink fresh, natural eggs, mineral water.
still got it. Always keep hydrated naturally. That's my secret.
Manufactured with the primary aim of preserving nature's finest minerals necessary for a healthy mind and body. X Natural Mineral Water. Simply natural.
Well, let's talk entertainment now. My name is Desmond Okrekodanso. Award-winning Ghanaian gospel musician Joe Mettle has released a new album titled The Experience, and this is his 6th studio album, and it features other gospel acts like Emoji Music, Michael Stacky, and Jeshon Ochiri. The new album by Joe Mettle has 13 songs and features great artists across the globe and his Love Gift Band. The Experience comes in time to commemorate 10 years since Mettle's first album was birthed. The album includes popular tracks such as Yesumo and recently released Yo Boami, as well as collaborations with 2021 VGMA Male Vocalist of the Year, Emoji Music, and American gospel artist Michael Stacky. It also features Ghanaian and vocal powerhouses Isaiah Fosukwachi Jr. and Eric Jeshon Ochiri, and from Nigeria, Dunsin Oyekan. At an album listening session held on Thursday, July 23, Joe Mettle said the songs were recorded live, promised to deliver a reflective, prophetic, and encouraging experience upon listening, all while placing the message of Christ directly inside the hearts and homes. And that's it for entertainment here on Newsnight. My name is Desmond Okrekodanso. Ken is standing by for the rest of the news.
Thank you very much, Desmond, for bringing us the latest in entertainment. That's how we wrap up on Newsnight tonight. My name is Kenneth Jesse. We came to you live from our studios here at Northridge in Accra. For myself and the rest of the crew, thanks for watching and have a good night.
Metro TV, insightful,